Well, a lot of people were saying that Donald Trump was making a lot of empty campaign promises this year, but it turns out a lot of the things that he was promising to do to make America great again have already started to happen. In fact, Mexico is now starting to sort of freak out seeing this play out in real life. They've got the front page news of one of their most influential newspapers saying Trump leaves Mexico without 3,600 jobs. Now, of course, this is just fresh off that news that Ford Motor Company decided to cancel their plans to build a $1.6 billion auto manufacturing plant in San Luis Potosi. So the people there are, freaking out, rightfully so. And there is an analyst there, Alejandro Hope. He says, it shows how much actual leverage Trump has within specific companies, which is far greater than what Mexican elites thought until recently. They claimed that at the end of the day, economic interests would prevail over political messaging. That's clearly not the case. And he also said that this should put us on notice that when he says that he wants to renegotiate NAFTA, he means it. So this, I thought, was just really profound statement here coming out of Mexico. Obviously, on the one hand, we can see what the Mexican government's going to try to do here. They're going to blame Trump for the fact that they're not able to create jobs for their people, for their citizens. But this saying, you know what, Donald Trump saying he's going to get in there and renegotiate these deals, he means it. And that's, this is why the American people elected him on that promise. Meanwhile, we've got Obama actually making jokes saying, Donald Trump says he's going to renegotiate those deals. How's he going to do it? How's he going to do that? Well, boom, like this, like a boss.
Right, seriously, like a boss. And he's president of the United States, not president of Mexico. And he's not stealing Mexican jobs. This is in the economic interest of Ford, or they wouldn't be doing it. They're not political provocateurs. They're not, pro-Trump in this. This is in the interest of this company, or they wouldn't be doing it. And we've seen, this is the second company that we've reported on doing this. One Chinese company that manufactures glass, also doing the same thing, bringing thousands of jobs to Ohio instead of China, where they're formerly being made because of Trump. He's renegotiating these deals as he promised. He's not in office yet, but we know he's going to. This is a telltale sign of this. And this headline by El Universal, Ford's breaking jolt the peso. It's not about crashing the peso. It's about strengthening the job of the American worker. This is an American company. Let's not forget.
Right. Well, that's the thing a lot of people don't understand is that it doesn't matter if you're building cars in a factory in Mexico if there's no one in America to buy those cars. I mean, that's the thing is if we don't protect ourselves, our own bottoming out middle class, it's just going to have a ripple effect throughout the globe. That's what people need to understand. We've also got, some more good news. I think Congress is actually working to try to kill some of these last minute midnight regulations that the Obama administration has really thrusted through here at the last minute. They say that this is Darrell Issa. He says regulations impacting the economy, the environment, families, and our community should be done with great caution and transparency, not get rushed in last minute on a president's way out of office. Absolutely. Even though we know that these things are going to be quickly overturned, but all that's going to do is just kind of create a lot of gridlock there in Congress, which I think is the point of the Obama administration doing this kind of at the last minute to just jam everything up, muck it all up so they can't get anything done. So they're creating this Midnight Rules Relief Act, which they say is going to help keep this and future presidents in check so that they're not going to be able to just ram things through at the last minute. It's going to allow Congress to reject all executive branch regulations finalized in the last 60 legislation days of an outgoing presidential administration. So I think this is really good, considering the fact, and Margaret, I know you've talked about this a lot, for every law that was adopted by Congress in the last year, Obama has created 18 new regulations. 18 new regulations. So what does that do? It makes the management of government more difficult. It makes the entire federal system more complex. And when it's more complex, it does not work.
Right. So King Obama is trying to create as big of a mess in terms of regulations and orders outgoing for Donald Trump that he possibly can. This is Congress's way of trying to stop him from doing that. I don't know how effective this is going to be, Leanne, but I applaud the effort. I'm really not a fan of Paul Ryan, but, as Owen said yesterday, I'm going to give him a chance. I know a lot of people are going to give him a chance, and something like this happens, and you really are encouraged because you think they're finally doing their job, honestly.
Right, and I thought it was pretty, I know the story wasn't in our stack, but really interesting how Donald Trump sends out the one tweet about the GOP. Come on, can't we do something a little bit more important
Right.
there rather than gutting the ethics
try-
oversight.
They're trying to reform the way that probes happen in Congress. But, who can blame them? Because nobody wants to be under an ethics probe. But there are more important things going on. For example, like our president putting special troops on the Lithuanian-Russian border, which is happening. That might be a bigger issue right now than the way the men and women of Congress are censored or ethics, investigations are done.
Yeah.
But hey, you know what?
Do your job ethically, and then you
Right.
won't have to
You won't
worry
have to
about
worry
anyone
about it,
breathing down
you
your neck.
know? A little
So
bit.
there's that there has been more than $1 trillion added to the federal debt. It's climbed more than $1 trillion during 2016. Of course, that's what happens when you add more government regulation. This is kind of the socialist move when the government is spending other people's money and they have no way to take this debt down. Meanwhile, California says that the California governor is actually coming out saying that they are going to set the example of how to fight against everything Donald Trump puts out there. California, the state that was almost on the verge of bankruptcy, that's really done everything wrong as far as I'm concerned. And also they've gone and hired Eric Holder to help them fight against the Trump administration.
Oh, that's a shocker right there. Eric Holder
Revolving
fighting
door.
against the Trump. You know what? Not only is California doing this, and we know that California was in the pocket of Bernie Sanders they were very pro-Bernie. Then they switched to Hillary. We know that, I was expecting them to secede, which they promised to sort of do. They've been trying to do. Not only is California doing that, these actors are doing it as well. There was a story on WND, an exclusive, and it talks about how actors are getting these secret trainings on how to bash Trump. This one company called Actors Equity, this group is planning on secret training sessions across the country for its members, the training on how to bash Trump openly. So it looks like everybody who wants to live in California or work in California are learning how to bash Trump. Not a shocker there at all.
Right. It's not only is it going to be written directly into their scripts, just like Saturday Night Live and everything, but now they're going to probably give them a little bit of tips on how to do this on Twitter and other. Because trust me, you do this, Hollywood actors, you are going to meet the troll army. The Trump troll army is out in full effect. Meanwhile, we've also got WikiLeaks offering a $20,000 reward, cash, to anyone who catches the Obama administration, any agent there of the Obama administration destroying significant records. WikiLeaks is going to give them 20 grand. Catch them in the act, destroying these really important records. Whoever that was giving the orders to bleach bit Hillary Clinton's server, you could have made a quick 20 grand cash if you had just, had an ethics oversight there.
WikiLeaks also is offering that reward. I believe it's $20,000 or $25,000 for any information that leads to the conviction of the killer of Seth Rich. And Assange has insinuated that Seth Rich was, in fact, the DNC leaker, despite the fact that the representation of the Rich family, and if you can believe this, and not to get off topic here, but I heard this today, apparently the theory that they're going with, and he is a DNC insider who has represented the Democratic Party at one point. So, what kind of faith can we put in the rabbit hole that you could go down with him? But the insinuation from him is that he found out that the Russians were hacking the DNC and the Russians had him killed. That's not true. If you guys hear this on Fox today, I'm just putting it out there now because they're going to try to break this with the source. And we're breaking it first and calling BS on the whole thing.
So he found the Russian malware, and so the Russians had to take out Seth Rich, and they robbed him, but they forgot to take his wallet. Okay.
Right. Precisely.
Also, too, WikiLeaks has issued a warning to CNN. Their show, New Day, aired an ex-deputy director of the CIA falsely calling Assange a pedophile. So they had a clip of it. New Day, of course, quickly deleted the tweet that included the video of this man calling Assange a pedophile. Of course, he's been locked up for 6+ years in the Ecuadorian embassy. He has not been charged with any sexual assault. It's just allegations, and no evidence suggests it was minors. I mean,
they've tried to smear his character and on these trumped up charges from sexual activity that was he's maintaining as consensual.
Even the woman has retracted the story now.
Precisely, except for pressure from investigators. We sent a truckload of agents into Iceland in order to nab Assange. That was their way in. We were going to help somehow, and yet it didn't work. These charges don't stick. I mean, you can't just smear someone and call them a pedophile. But it looks like people are largely rewarded for fake news, and I know we're running out of time. The Washington Post is richly rewarded for false news about Russia, the Russian threat, which is, all in an effort to deceive the public.
Right. And of course, they get big time hits deceiving us all with their fake news. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. We will see you here again tomorrow, 7 p.m. Central.
In case you haven't heard, InfoWars has become the most influential media outlet in America. We're making freedom go viral. And now we are proud to announce a new weapon in the epic battle against the globalists. InfoWars Prime, where you can watch live high-definition feeds of The Alex Jones Show, plus exclusive insider videos from the InfoWars crew and behind-the-scenes action. Go to Infowars.com/app and download today. InfoWars Prime is available right now for your iPhone or Android. You will have access to exclusive videos that you can't see anywhere else. And that means live coverage of events and breaking news on location as it happens. You can also take advantage of amazing deals from the InfoWars store that are only available for InfoWars Prime subscribers. That's InfoWars Prime at Infowars.com/app. If you can hear my voice, you are the resistance.